want to do is put on a wig cap or tie back your hair because you do not want to be getting paint in your hair. It's not super hard to get out, but it's an extra step. Second thing you're going to want to do is make sure that your face is clean. If your face is dirty, it's going to have a harder time, the makeup's going to have a harder time sticking to your face, and it'll just make things a little bit harder for you. If you're going to be putting on contacts for your costume, make sure you put them in first. I'm not going to be putting in contacts right now because I'm trying to look in the mirror way over here. But if you're going to be putting in contacts, do that first because I promise you your eyes will water and it will ruin all your hard work. Today I'm going to be using Ben Nye's Cream Foundation in Blue Spirit. It's a little bit of a thinner face paint, so you're going to want to make sure that you put on a little bit of concealer because it sits on top of your face and kind of works with your skin tone. So if you have any spots, you might want to cover those up because they might show in through the makeup. You can use any sort of makeup sponge. I prefer to just use simple wedges. They're easier to use. I prefer to start at the top and work my way down. And an important thing to remember is that coverage first, and then you can go back in for detail later. Because if you spend a whole bunch of time trying to get fine details, it'll take you a really long time. This can be a little bit messy, so you might want to put a little towel down to prevent you from getting baby powder everywhere. You're going to dab it into the skin, but try not to brush it just yet because until it's completely sealed, you might smear it. Once you've gotten the coverage you need, smooth that out just a little bit so that there's not any awkward clumps. Now for this tutorial, I'm only going down to my neckline, but depending on what kind of dress you wear for Ice Queen, you might need to go down further. I recommend for that to seal in parts, so start with your face and seal that and then continue downward because it's sometimes hard to keep track of your makeup while it's on your face without smearing it if you're doing a large area. The next thing you're going to want to do is contour. It's very important when you use makeup like this because it makes your face look very flat. You're going to want to contour your cheekbones, and if your dress goes down far enough, you're going to probably want to contour your neck and your collarbones. Today I'm going to be using more Ben Nye. This is a pressed eyeshadows in Celestial Blue. You don't just have to use it on your eyes. And you're just going to you're going to want to find your cheekbone and carefully accentuate. There's no such thing as too much blending, but don't worry if it looks really dramatic. Ice Queen's a dramatic character, so it's a-okay. Next is your eyes. You're going to want to make sure you use shades of blue, but it doesn't really matter what shades of blue you use. I'm just using some makeup I had around the house. I'm going to be using this neat metallic blue from Prescriptives and this dark blue from Aventure. Now, if you're going to be applying this makeup to somebody else, you're going to want to use a makeup brush for sanitary reasons, but if you're using it on yourself, it's a-okay to use your fingers. Just make sure that you're careful with it. So you're going to want to outline the edge of your eye with a darker color. Very carefully blend. Next, which is something I like to do, very dramatic look for Ice Queen. Take some of the blue that you used for the contouring and bring it outward from your eyelid. There we go. Now, because Ice Queen is a villain, it's a very dynamic look, you don't have to worry about looking a little crazy. So I chose to use a little bit of the color that I used for contouring and just bring it out from my eyes to make it look really dramatic. And you know, again, blend it out a little bit, but it doesn't matter if you look a little crazy, because Ice Queen is a little crazy. Now, while I'm talking, a little bit of my lip makeup has come off, so I'm going to reapply that right now. And as you can see, I have a little bit larger lips, so in order to downplay that, I am choosing to contour inward using a little bit of this powder. Just carefully accentuate the inner edge of your lip. Now, Ice Queen has some pretty crazy eyebrows, but if you choose not to make those, what you're going to want to do is just carefully highlight where your eyebrows are with a white eyeliner. And you know, depending on how your wig looks, it may or may not show up, but that's all right. Because you don't want your eyes to get lost in the makeup, you're going to want to outline your waterline in dark black or dark blue eyeliner. Be very careful not to smudge your makeup as you're putting this on. The next thing you're going to want to do is your eyelashes. Now you have a choice here. You could use false eyelashes, and I don't know if they come in white, but you can always cover them with another kind of makeup to make them white, or you can use white makeup. Now what I've chosen to do is I found a really cool glitter mascara, which doesn't show up very well on its own, but it doesn't have a brand name. It has a skull on it, and I got it from Hot Topic. Now what I choose to do is I take the brush and I dip it in a little bit of Mehron Clown White. Now you don't need a container as big as this, but I use this for a lot of stuff, so I have a big container. You just want to carefully roll it in the outside of it to get enough on there to use on your eyelashes. And then you're going to very carefully apply to your eyelashes. It has the added bonus of having little blue sparkles in it, which is really cool for up-close effects. It may take a couple tries to get good coverage, but don't worry, it's worth it. Once your eyelashes are done, they should look something like this. And it's okay if they look a little bit clumpy, because it'll just look like you have ice stuck in your eyelashes. Super cool. The next step is going to be to put on your wig. Now this can be a little bit tricky because you don't want to smear any of your makeup. The biggest tip I can get you is to put it on from the back. So just catch the very back, put your fingers underneath it, and pull down. Now you've sealed it enough so your hair shouldn't get stuck in your makeup. Then you're just going to part the wig where it's supposed to part. Mine looks a little messy right now because it just got back from a convention, but that's a-okay. Just give it a little brushing and it should be fine. An important step to take when wearing a wig that's long and heavy is to make sure that you pin it in at the top, or else your wig will start sliding back during the day and reveal your wig cap and a line of makeup. Okay. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you guys all have a good time with this tutorial.